Chapter 81. Listen and repeat. A conversation. What was she doing? She was watching TV. Was she doing anything else? She was knitting at the same time. What was she doing at the same time as she was watching TV? While she was watching TV, she was knitting. What were you doing? I was talking on the phone. Were you doing anything else? I was taking notes at the same time. What were you doing at the same time as you were talking on the phone? While I was talking on the phone, I was taking notes. While she was watching TV, she was knitting. While I was talking on the phone, I was taking notes. While he was driving, he was smoking a cigarette. While they were listening to the lecture, they were taking notes. She was knitting while she was watching TV. I was taking notes while I was talking on the phone. He was smoking a cigarette while he was driving. They were taking notes while they were listening to the lecture. What was she doing? She was cooking the dinner. What happened during that time? The telephone rang during that time. What happened during the time that she was cooking the dinner? While she was cooking the dinner, the telephone rang. The expression, the time that, is equivalent to the time when. What were they doing? They were having a conference. What happened during that time? The secretary came in during that time. What happened during the time that they were having a conference? While they were having a conference, the secretary came in. While she was cooking the dinner, the telephone rang. While I was reading, I fell asleep. While they were having a conference, the secretary came in. While he was playing football, he broke his leg. The telephone rang while she was cooking the dinner. I fell asleep while I was reading. The secretary came in while they were having a conference. He broke his leg while he was playing football. Vocabulary. Account, noun. And all that automation cost, noun. Efficient. Note, noun. Pay, noun. Pay and accounts. Position, position. Reasonably the same as service, job. Text, verbs, and expressions. To be in conference. To be worth, plus ing form. To beat, beat, beaten. To consider, doing something. To cut down. To draw, drew, drawn. To eliminate. To go into business. To have a conference cost, noun. At all costs, / at any cost. At great cost. At the cost of. At the cost of one's life. To one's cost. Note, noun. To take notes. To take note of. To speak from notes. To make notes on a text. Dialogue. Mark Davis is talking to the manager of a small company that is considering renting a computer. Manager. You really think that a computer will save us some money? Mark. How many people do you have in your accounts section now? Manager. We have 5, the bookkeeper and assistant bookkeeper, and clerks for pay and accounts. Mark. I think you can reasonably expect to cut your staff down to 2, the bookkeeper and his assistant. Manager. But the pay clerk has been with us for almost 20 years, almost from the time we went into business. Mark. That's not what you asked me. You asked me about costs. Manager. I know, but all this automation, it may be more efficient and it may cut costs and all that, but it still means jobs. Mark. But we've found that employees whose jobs are eliminated usually fill other positions with the same companies. Manager. Still, 20 years in the same job. However, you're right, that's not what I asked you. Let's get back to these figures. Note. In the sentence, you really think that a computer will save us some money? The structure is a declarative question, not a true interrogative. In almost from the time we went into business, from indicates the starting point in time, since the time when. In but all this automation, it may be more efficient, the pronoun it repeats the noun phrase all this automation for emphasis, typical of spoken English. Grammar. Verbs plus gerund. Most women enjoy shopping. Why have you stopped repeating the sentences? I've never considered doing this. Do you mind staying a little longer? Do you mind my staying a little longer? Please excuse my being so late. Explanation. In English, many verbs are followed by the gerund. Among the most common are to be worth, to consider, to delay, to mind, to excuse, to finish, to keep, to miss, to stop. Examples and notes. Some of these verbs can also take other constructions. For example, object plus to plus infinitive, but with a different meaning. I stopped speaking to her. Arrow. Smisi di parlarle. I stopped to speak to her. Arrow. Mi fermai per parlarle. Possessive with gerund. Some verbs can indicate the person doing the action, different from the main subject, by placing a possessive adjective before the gerund. In spoken English, the corresponding object pronoun is also accepted. My wife doesn't mind my/me coming in late. Please excuse our/us calling you by your first name.